Yes.
That's great. Cool. Well, thank you for inviting me here. I'm happy to be here. My name is Russell Jonas. I'm a local business owner, just like you, and I specialize in helping small and medium-sized businesses, just like yours, when it comes to bringing more leads into your business. Who am I? I'm a data-driven strategist. Started my career in the service industry, working for big hotel brands like a Hilton, a Wyndham, and Starwood hotels. Then I spent 3 years working in Big Four consulting for federal government clients, both civilian and military, on data-driven strategy projects. And then I spent 5 years in film, television, and live production, where I managed creative projects with large crews and small ones. And then I spent 6 years on the US economics and strategy team of a Wall Street bank, where we generated a high volume of digital content to corporate and institutional clients. And now, as a marketing strategist, I'm a service-oriented content creator, and I help businesses acquire customers and increase client engagement. At White Plains Marketing, we help attract leads, nurture prospects, track their data through the buyer's journey, and help business owners make better decisions about how to invest their marketing dollars. You have a product or service that you sell, you have a community. If you're not marketing already, then start with your community and expand it. Your network is your net worth, as they say. Let's see here. So we're focused on delivering outcomes, and it's always about return on investment with marketing. So what do you talk about, though, in your marketing campaigns? Do you have a topic that you repeatedly hit on? How do you talk to your network? How do you know if you're reaching them? How do you know if your message is landing? How do you know if your content is working? And do you have the data to course correct if it's not working? Here's what our approach is. It's to help clients build a marketing machine that generates leads in the background. It uses your website. You have to have a website. And it uses your social media presence, your Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, LinkedIn, YouTube, etc. Sure, Snapchat, whatever is your medium. Of course, it uses email, and sometimes even uses high-tech snail mail like Postalytics. This slide shows you how we break down a marketing program. So you start with the tools, you solidify your brand identity, you create content, you distribute the content and drive people to it with ads and organic. And of course, people still do traditional advertising because it works. The mix of these varies from business to business because each business is unique. At White Plains Marketing, we act as an extension of your team. We're creative, and we create content that's scalable so that you can generate a large digital presence fast and economically. And when I say economically, I mean, for live action video, we usually take a day or two to shoot, and you get multiple videos and graphics of varying lengths, suited for different purposes and targeted to different buyer personas, which you can then deploy across the spectrum of traditional and social media as well as your website. Now here's an example of our work. Let's see here. Not sure if you guys get the audio on that. Are you getting the soundtrack?
No.
Oh. Well, that's unfortunate. I have a smart speaker phone that is too smart to pick up the audio here. But I'll be happy to share it with you later if you like. We typically take live action video and break it out across a number of different campaigns to address different buyer personas. So if you have buyer persona A who's data driven and buyer persona B who's emotionally driven, we'll capture all of that in day one, day two shoot, and then target those buyer personas later across these digital platforms. Let's see here. This is our partner in Long Island that produces this. We also do 2D explainer videos. Explainer videos, culture videos, animations can be used for how-tos, all kinds of purposes to get your perfect pitch every time. And I'll just play one of those for you as well. This one's also going to have a soundtrack that you're not going to be able to hear, unfortunately. But this one has is an example of 2D video that you may use on your website to explain a complex product. For instance, we have a client that is in the solar installation business, and they have to explain the differences between or the overall process, rather, for not only the installation of the product in a house, but how it connects to the grid and the financial processes by which customers get paid for allowing the power company to put solar equipment inside their house. And so it's kind of like boring, dry subject matter, and they really wanted help making it more interesting and concise. So we helped them create some 2D animations that were consistent with their company's color palette and were quicker. We also do 3D animations as well. I'll play one of those in the background too. Let's see here. So we have the ability to do 3D animations. This one's based on an architectural schematic, and it's entirely computer generated. I wish you guys could get the sound of that. But you can take people on a journey throughout this, and we're moving into VR space as well. You'll hear people talking about the metaverse a lot these days, and the metaverse, of course, is kind of based on entering a virtual space. So branding in this space is going to be important. This is the type of technology that you can use to create a space for your brand as well. It doesn't have to be based on an architectural schematic. It could be based on images and drawings as well. This one happens to be an architectural schematic because it was a builder who did it. You don't have to spend all the money on an architect, though, to do something like this. You can do it for a lot less. So we use the power of video in every part of the sales funnel. We have the ability to track a prospect's every interaction with every unique digital asset and let your sales team know when a prospect is hot so they can reach out and strike while the iron's hot before that prospect cools off or goes to a competitor. How do we do that? Well, we have a lot of key performance indicators, and we use cutting edge technology. We use webhooks, among other things, Segment and HubSpot to track and measure performance. So you can get, in addition to ROI at the bottom line, you're getting the number of unique visitors, the number of returning visitors, the user engagement. We can create metrics around these things, the number of referrals. You can have a single number for brand awareness. You can have organic social reach numbers. You can understand your lead conversion rate, your qualified lead rate. You can understand your sales efficiency versus those things. It's just kind of a simple ratio. But the key is that you can track the data. Then you can lower the cost for your qualified leads. You can understand and optimize different buyer personas and estimate their lifetime value. We can grab third-party data, enhance that. There are enhancing platforms that enrich this data and help model it to target better, and then identify user personas and retarget them. You can also gauge a prospect's intent. This can be modeled and captured. Attribution models are a big part of this as well. So you can understand where in the customer journey people are converting and which digital asset you put out there that helped convert, so you can do more of those types of things. It can be kind of general, like we can tell Twitter was working really well for us, or it could be like a specific tweet, like, wow, look what that thing did. And you can model those out on like a Sankey diagram and look at the whole journey. We use ds.j3 data visualizations to kind of to help dashboard these things. So here's some case studies. Some businesses like Stax Automotive. This is a company in Long Island that wanted to promote a specific sales offer. And so they just wanted to use paid ads to generate ROI. So what we did was used connected TV, which is a very powerful platform. Your TV can tell if you're close to it, and it knows from your phone, it's geolocating you. It knows you're next to your smart TV. It knows what you've been searching for on the internet, so it can show you ads for those things, for those companies. The programmatic video is what you'd see on Facebook, Google, Instagram, website. Display ads, same thing. We targeted at the zip code level, and then use this geolocation technology to then tie it to walk-ins. So this is a retail location, but we're able to use a technology that then uses that geo-tracking to see, well, who saw that ad in these different places, and when did they actually walk inside the store? That was a very concrete way of measuring ROI on this one. This is just sort of what their banner ads look like. We put these together for them, and put together some videos for them. Like I'll just play a snippet. So, like a pretty straightforward video job there. We cut it a bunch of different ways. Got a 30-second, a 15-second, a minute. This turned into almost 800,000 impressions, 900 clicks on the website, and that turned into 91 walk-ins that were measured with that technology to geolocate who's walking in the door. So what did that come down to? The bottom line, it was about $9,000 in ad spend. You multiply that out on your customer lifetime value, which is something that we helped them figure out, but they already had some good data around what their LTV was. But it ultimately turned into that $9,000 spend turned into $41,000 in revenue for them. So that's a 4.5 times ROI. Here's another study that was pretty much ad driven. This company sells hot tubs and spas in Tacoma, Washington. They had been in business for 20 years. They never invested in digital presence. COVID made them change the way that they were doing business. They couldn't have people coming in the store anymore. They had to, and they have the largest showroom in their area. but they just couldn't use that great asset. So they had to start selling online. And we set up a system for them to be able to qualify their leads, work with their sales team, nurture people all along the way. And that turned into a whole bunch of leads and new customers for them. And ultimately, it was more than 4-to-1 ROI for those guys. Now they're spending a lot on ads too, so the budget varies quite a bit.
Okay.
Yeah, and so I think I'm almost out of time, but that's my deck. White Plains Marketing is my company, and if you have any questions, I'd love to hear from you.
Yeah, Russell, thank you for this wonderful presentation, and it's a great product, right? It's helping many businesses, and you finished on the time, so I really appreciate. So, any questions from the audience?
I know that there was a question about B2B versus B2C we were discussing earlier, Ganesh.
Yes.
And if you're business to business, there's a little bit more complexity around capturing the data. And one of the things that we've found is that it's just harder because of work from home, for one thing. And now people will be dialing from their home phone number. They'll be using personal email addresses sometimes. The phone calls are a little bit harder to capture, but we are able to capture a lot of them and through systems like Pixie and CallRail, et cetera. So you can actually receive all of your customers' phone calls and listen to them. And what we've helped one of our clients do is create some playbooks, especially around customer service, because all of those calls are captured and recorded. Then they could figure out, oh, here's what works when somebody has this type of complaint or problem. That's how we help that business. And B2C is a bit more straightforward in terms of how to reach them and how to track their data. Ultimately, you can get it all in segment.
True. Thank you, Russell. It's a very good.